Hi people, TS here. Just speaking about Arsenal and the clear out, which we need to do in the summer in terms of, players that's going to be leaving based on wages, well, contracts expiring, should I say, and some player that we need to just get rid of because they're not good enough, and of course free up some money on the wage bill. So starting off with the players that are leaving based on contracts, we've got Welbeck, Lichtsteiner, Cech and Ramsey. In total, their wages come somewhere around 370k a week. You bear that in mind. 370k a week. You look at wages of some top players. You could get in two players on 150k a week, and another player on 70k a week. I think that would be ideal. I look at someone like N'Golo Kante. Just not that we're going to get him, but someone on his sort of wage. He's on 120k a week at Chelsea. You've got Mahrez is on like 120 at City. Even the likes of Virgil van Dijk, he's on 150 at Liverpool. So, if we put the money down, we can definitely, we definitely would have the wages to accommodate some somewhat top level players. And I think the plan that the club should look at is actually buying top level players and not overpaying people, which is something which we've done in the past, and the past regime have messed that up, which is why we're currently in the sort of situations we are in now. Going into some players which I think will be sold to try free up some funds and also get them off the wage bill. Players I would definitely select as the likes of Mustafi, Koscielny, Jenkinson and Elneny. Again, with these four players, those wages, they come to around 265k a week. Mention that I've put in two centre-halves there, so the ideal thing would be to look at bringing in a top quality centre-half. The likes of a Harry Maguire, we could definitely bring him in, probably put him on 130k a week. I'm not an accountant before people say I'm talking all numbers here, but if you look at it, if we put the money down, we definitely have the accommodation to bring in a top quality centre half like him, and also maybe even a left back like the one they have at Leicester, Ben Chilwell. I think he'll be someone to bring a good addition to bring in as well. I know there is many other left backs out there. I've just given him as an example. Of course, in the comment section below, you can let me know what sort of players you'd like to see us bring in the summer transfer window. And then also we've got the likes of Granit Xhaka. He hasn't really done much for us, and there is a stat about he's the highest player whose mistakes have caused to goals from the opposing team. And I think he's another player that should be on his way out and of the club. And nothing against him. Seems like a nice enough person, but he seems to only seem like a somewhat decent player when he's playing alongside Torreira. And if we're meant to be a big club, we can't be a club that has players that are only good when they're playing alongside other people. So I would personally get rid of Granit Xhaka. It looks like the manager has no faith in Mesut Ozil either, and I think he's going to try to ship him off out also. Whether Ozil decides to go or not is down to him. I think Ozil's in a bit of a situation now where either he grits his teeth and puts in the performances, shows what he's capable of doing, or he's going to keep sitting on the bench and either he's going to sit on the bench for a couple of years, or he's going to come to summer, he's going to think F this, he wants to play and start working hard again. But I definitely feel that in the summer, some of the key positions we need to strengthen. So I think we need another right back. Of course, Bellerin's not going to be ready for the start of the new season. And of course, like I've mentioned, with the likes of Lichtsteiner and Jenkinson going, we would need another right back, and not just a right back to slot in temporarily. We'd want a right back who's actually going to, push Bellerin for that first choice spot. Would want a top quality centre half. I mentioned Maguire as an example. Someone that can, him and Socrates can be a good centre half duo. Of course, if we ever play with a back three, we've got the likes of Holden and Mavropanos that can, slot in there also. Even Callum Chambers, depending on what the manager's choice is on him when he comes back from loan. And then also, like I mentioned, Ben Chilwell as an option for left-back, just as Monreal's getting on a bit and Kolasinac is not the best of left-backs. We need to buy more or less in a lot of positions, to be fair. I think we could do with another central midfielder, another like a battling ball-winning midfielder, maybe someone like a Decore from Watford, or there's talks of this guy, his name Frank Kessie, I think he's at Milan, and also Rabiot, who's at PSG. I think his contract's ending towards the end of this year also. And then other than that, probably just a winger, because that's one thing that we do lack is width. Of course, Reece Nelson will be back from loan. We're not sure yet whether we're going to sign Denis Suarez on a permanent deal. Depends on really how he performs. Maybe we may go back in for the likes of Carrasco or Perisic. Or just before the January transfer window started, there was talks about Christian Pavon. So, there's definitely a lot that needs to be done with this team to get us, back to top quality ways. At present, we're nowhere near fighting for the Premier League table, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I think Emery needs a couple of seasons, but I think if after this summer transfer window we don't really see much, some fans will slowly start to turn on him, and I don't want to see that happen for the new man. I think he needs to be backed from the board. If they give him the right backing in the summer, and he's able to do things his way, I think that we definitely can improve. I was just giving my thoughts here on what players I can see going and what sort of players I'd like to see come in. Of course, let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on this. What sort of players you'd want to keep, what sort of players you'd want to sell, and what sort of players you'd want to see us bring in, and what positions you think we need to strengthen in. That's all from me for today. Of course, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.